What's up guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I will be covering my Bone Spear Necromancer in Season 1, which in my opinion is still the best overall Necro build in the game that does not rely on any broken mechanics, immunities, or exploits, and still has the capability to handle anything the game can throw in your direction. Like most other builds, this one pairs well with the Barber Malignant Heart, dealing insane amounts of damage. As you can see in the background, I'm completing a Tier 46 Nightmare Dungeon at level 76 with no problems. In this guide, we will cover the skills, gear, aspects, Malignant Heart choices, summon choices, skill tree, and Paragon Board, followed up by Nightmare Dungeon gameplay at the end. Timestamps will be down below, so feel free to jump ahead at any time. Let's get right into it. We'll briefly go over the skills used for the build. For our basic skill, we generate essence with Reap right here. This also gives us a little bit of damage reduction, and it creates a corpse on the first enemy that we hit with it, which is nice for casting corpse tendrils like on bosses and stuff like that. For our core skill, we use Bone Spear, the bread and butter, major damage dealer. Down here we use Blood Mist. This is our get out of jail free card. We just pop that if we're in a tight situation. We have Corpse Explosion and Corpse Tendrils. Now, because of our Malignant Heart, they will be going off on their own. We can also cast these ourselves if we want to. Corpse Explosion is just going to give us a lot of damage in the Paragon Board. And then Corpse Tendrils also gives us a lot of damage and crit chance. Alright, now we'll go ahead and go into our gear and aspects used on the build. Before I do though guys, I just wanted to show you, after patch 1.1.1, I'm pretty sure the drop rates got changed or something, but because by level 75, you can see I got 3 rings of Mendeln, which is pretty insane. So we'll go ahead and start up here at the helmet. For the helmet, I am using the Deathless Visage Unique. It's pretty nice. It gives you a lot of damage in essence. Don't have to use that. You can go with a helmet with like damage on it, pluses to skills, maximum essence, maximum life, whatever you want to do. You don't have to have this. I mean, also you can see it. Bone Spear leaves behind echoes as it travels that explode, dealing a little bit of damage. Doesn't really do much, but overall this helmet will give you more damage for the build if that's what you're looking for. Into the armor. Now for the armor and for the pants, you basically want to find damage reduction. You know, in your body armor you can get damage also. In the pants you can get pluses to skills, but damage reduction is going to be the main thing that you want to go for here. Now maximum life is good also. I like to get maximum life. It's all up to you. And you know, you can see right there I have all stats. For the aspect on the armor, you want to go with the aspect of the protector. This is actually available in the codex. You can get higher rolls of it on gear that you find though. Really nice to have defensive wise. Into the gloves. Now you want to try to get some gloves similar to this. You definitely want to get 4 rings to the Bone Spear. You want to get as high crit chance as you possibly can. I have the lucky hit right there. 5% chance to restore, you know, primary resource, which is pretty nice. You can get intelligence. You can get plain lucky hit chance on here also. You can get faster attack speed, you know, whatever you can get on there. For the aspect that you want to go for on there, you want to go for the aspect of Serration. The Ossified Essence key passive also increases the critical strike damage of your bone skills by 1% per essence above 50, up to 40%. Nice to have that more damage. For the pants down here, the aspect that you want to go with on the pants, and like I said guys, with the pants, just try to get max life, intelligence if you can, a bunch of damage reduction, whatever you can find. The aspect you want to go for is the aspect of Disobedience though. This is the best defensive aspect in the game. Stacks your armor, which is the best for defense in the game right now. For the boots, right here I went with essence cost reduction, movement speed, intelligence. That's what I looked for on the boots. I want to be moving around the Nightmare Dungeons as quickly as possible. And then for the aspect on the boots, there's other ones you can go with. I chose the Wind Striker aspect. Basically gives us even more movement speed after critical strikes. You can find that up to 16%. Now into the weapon, you can see right here that I have a scythe. I am going to eventually go with a two-handed sword. I am only level 76 right now. I'm going to find a nice one and change over to a two-handed sword because it gives the implicit of 15% increased critical strike damage instead of the life on kill. Now, for leveling right here, the life on kill has been pretty nice. It keeps your life, you know, topped off pretty much all the time. In a perfect world, the stats you want to go for on that are vulnerable damage, core skill damage, intelligence, and then also critical strike damage. Now, I have all stats and a bunch of intelligence, which is also nice. And this is the highest damage weapon that I've found so far. That is why I'm going with the scythe. And then you definitely want to have the aspect of Grasping Veins on here. Now, some people would put the aspect of splintering on here, but after the most recent patch, I would go with Grasping Veins on here because it's harder to get your max crit chance. With this, I'm pretty much crit capped on my crit chance. You know, right there you can see gain 40% increased critical strike chance for 6 seconds when you cast Corpse Tendrils, which it's always casting. It's auto casting because of our Malignant Heart. So I would definitely put that onto your two-hander. Up here, you want to have the splintering aspect on your amulet. You do want to try to go with +3 ranks of Avulsion if you can find it. That's like the best +2 ranks you can get on your amulet for this build, in my opinion. Movement speed, you can get energy cost reduction. A lot of things. You can get damage reduction on your amulet. Definitely want to go with the splintering aspect on your amulet though. Bone Spear's primary attack makes enemies hit beyond the first vulnerable for 3.8 seconds. And then also Bone Spear, the shards deal 98% bonus damage to vulnerable enemies. So definitely want to have that aspect on your amulet. It's really important. Into the rings now. The ring right here is the only one that I don't have that's an ancestral yet. I will be finding that soon. But for the rings, you want to try to go with vulnerable damage, crit strike, chance definitely, crit strike damage. Maximum essence would probably be the next best thing that you could get on there because you get damage because of our key passive for essence, multiplicative damage. So that's really nice. On my second ring right here, you can see I have vulnerable damage, damage to stunned enemies. Don't worry about the maximum minion life. I still need to upgrade my rings a bit. These aren't bad though. Aspect on the first ring, you want to put exposed flesh. I might change this with my in-game version of this build, but exposed flesh helps. You know, you see right there, unlucky hit, 10% chance to generate 30 essence. Helps with your essence regeneration. And then down here, you also want to get aspect of the umbral. Now you can get the aspect of exposed flesh with our new season. Basically, you can get it from your codex, which is nice. And then also you can get aspect of the umbral from the codex's power as well, which helps with our essence regeneration. For the Malignant Hearts, guys, you want to go with the Wrathful Heart of the Barber right here. This one's awesome. Gives a ton of damage to most builds. I mean, pretty much a lot of builds are using this in Season 1. You can see right there, critical strikes and all subsequent damage within 3.4 seconds, up to 4 seconds, is absorbed by your target. And then it takes that absorbed damage for that amount of time and adds multiplicative damage to it. So you just do these big bursts of damage that, you know, hit everything surrounding. Right here, then we want to go with the Decrepit Aura Caged Heart. You can see right here, when at least 2 enemies, you can have it down to, I think, 0 enemies are near you. Get an aura that automatically curses surrounding enemies with Decrepify, which is really nice. And Decrepify makes it to where your enemies do less damage. They're slowed down. Just really nice overall to have. And then for this Caged Heart, we want to go with the Sacrilegious. This one right here, walking near a corpse automatically activates an equipped corpse skill. So, you know, it'll automatically activate our corpse tendrils and our corpse explosion. You want to have them in order down here. It'll go from the left to the right, automatically activating them, which helps out a lot. So basically, you're just casting Bone Spear all the time, which is really nice overall. Now we will go into the Book of the Dead. For our summons, we want to go ahead up here and get rid of the Skirmishers, get a 5% crit chance. Right here, we want to get rid of the Shadow Mages, and we will get 15 maximum essence, which goes into more damage. Down here, we want to get rid of our Iron Golem, and you can deal 30% multiplicative increased critical strike damage, which is really nice. Alright guys, for the skill tree, our basic skill, we're just going to go ahead and put one into Reap, back here into Acolyte's Reap, basically making it to where it forms a corpse under the first enemy you hit, which definitely helps with bosses. Get your corpse tendrils off. For our core skill, we're obviously going to take Bone Spear. With the 4 ranks on my gloves, it brings it to 9. We want to go back into Paranormal for 5% increased critical strike chance, which is really nice also, guys. Also, we want to get Unliving Energy, level 3 for more essence. Then we want to get Imperfectly Balanced for more multiplicative damage. Yes, our skills cost more, but we also get a lot more damage. We want to get 3 into Hewed Flesh right here. Unlucky hit, your damage has up to a 12% chance to create a corpse at the target's location, and the chance is doubled against bosses. We're going to come down in here into the Corpse and Macabre skills. We want to just put 1 into Corpse Explosion, into Enhanced, and back here into Blighted. Now the reason that I went back into Blighted, obviously this isn't doing any damage that means anything, but the reason that I went into Blighted was so that I can get this movement speed down here from Reaper's Pursuit. You can see damaging enemies with darkness skills increases your movement speed by 15% for 3 seconds, so that's almost always up. And it also helps to keep your aspect of disobedience up and keep your armor higher, which is nice. I'm going to come down here into Grim Harvest. You can put 1 point there if you want. I got 2 right now. And then also down into Fueled by Death, which you deal 9% increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse, which is pretty much all the time. Now, you also want to put 1 point into Blood Mist. Now, I'm getting points to Blood Mist from my amulet, so I didn't need to, but if you don't have any plus skills on your gear, you want to get 1 point into Blood Mist. We're going to come down here into the curse skills. Now, we're not going to grab any curse skills because of our Malignant Heart. We all have Decrepify pretty much all the time. We do want to put 3 points into Amplified Damage. You deal 12% multiplicative increased damage to cursed enemies. 3 into Death's Embrace, damage reduction, more damage close. And then also 3 into Death's Reach, which we're always, at a distance with this build, so we get 12% multiplicative damage. We're going to come down here into our Corpse of Macabre skills again. For this, we want to go with Reaper's Pursuit. Like I said, I just wanted the movement speed from this, and it actually pairs really well with Blighted Corpse Explosion. You're going to get 1 point into Corpse Tendrils, and we're going to come back here into Plagued Corpse Tendrils to make all enemies vulnerable that are hit by Corpse Tendrils. We're also going to come down here into Serration, guys. Your bone skills have a 0.9% increased critical strike chance for each 30 essence you have upon cast, which we have a ton of essence, like around 200 or more with this build, so that gives us nice base crit chance. We're going to get 3 into Compound Fracture after critically striking 10 times with bone skills. Your bone skills deal 15% increased damage for 5 seconds. This is pretty much always up. And then down here I have rank 6 of Evulsion. Because of my amulet, your bone skills deal 30% increased multiplicative critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. All enemies are pretty much vulnerable. That's a huge damage boost. Down here into our ultimate skills, we're not going to take any ultimate skill. We're pretty much crit capped at all times, maybe just a little bit below. But I didn't even mess with Bone Storm. If you wanted to change things around a little bit, maybe by the in-game version of this build, I might. I doubt it though. Could go into this, back here into Supreme. What I chose right here into the ultimates though is Standalone. We went with 3 into that, increases damage reduction by 18% because we have no minions. And then also Memento Mori. Our sacrifice bonuses are increased by 60%, which is great. For our key passive, this is a no-brainer. We're a Bone Necro, so we're going to go with Bone Skills. Ossified Essence, your Bone Skills deal 1% increased damage for each point of Essence you have above 50 upon cast, and that's multiplicative, so, I mean, we're doing tons of damage. This just cranks the damage up for our build. Alright, we will now come into the Paragon Board. We're going to start down here at the starter board. Before we get into this, you definitely want to try get all of your glyphs at least to level 15, eventually maxing them to 21. But at 15, they do get the bigger radius. There will be a link down in the description for this build if you want to check it out that way. On the starter board, we're going to come up here. We're going to grab Prime for damage and life. We're going to throw in Sacrificial right here. You definitely want to at least meet the requirement for the additional bonus. You deal 10% multiplicative increased damage while you have no active minions, which we have no active minions at any time. We're going to grab Preservation for armor and intelligence. Knowledge for damage and intelligence. The next board that we will come into is Bone Graft. Now when you first come into this board, you're going to want to come over here up into Reinvigorate for more maximum essence. Essence on kill. Just really great nodes in this area. Then you'll want to come over here. You want to grab Entomb. 4% critical strike chance. Base crit chance. Then you want to get Bone Graft for more damage and maximum essence. Grab these nodes around here for critical strike damage. Don't worry about the potion and healing. Then you want to come up in the Calcified. There's a bunch of bone skill damage in this area and critical strike damage. Then you want to come up here. You want to throw in this socket Exploit. This is probably the most important glyph for our build. It gives us a ton of vulnerable damage. I want to get that to 15. I do have that at 15 already, even at level 76. I want to come up here and get Shaper of Bone, bone skill damage, intelligence. Then the next board that we will come into, guys, is Flesh Eater. This one's huge for the build, probably the best one overall now. Consuming 5 corpses grants 40% increased damage for 6 seconds, and that's also multiplicative. And because of our Malignant Heart, it's constantly going off, so we always have that up pretty much 24/7. But you want to come up first and grab that. You want to come over here, grab Stifle, you get crit chance in this area, and then we're going to put our second most important glyph right here, which you also want to get to level 15, which is Essence. Gives us increased critical strike damage. Really nice to have for the build. Now, I do have all of my Paragon points from my Renown, guys, and I'm level 76 right now. The Paragon board is definitely going to go off further. I will be doing a in-game final version of this build with all the best gear and best choices for everything, if you guys want to check that out. Hopefully this guide has been helpful. Right now at the end, I will leave you with some Nightmare Dungeon gameplay. Build's super strong and great overall, guys. Like I said, hopefully this helps you out. If you enjoyed the guide, if it was helpful, leave a like, leave a comment. There will be plenty of guides in the future. Thanks for watching.
Ugh.